Begin Podfix Network transmission in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, y'all? We are the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the side chicks featuring Yummy and Dark Phoenix. We are the side chicks because we give our side of the issues. We are an irreverent and comedic podcast hosted by two seductive and fully grown women that explores pop culture and relationships.
That's right. And if you want a behind the scenes glimpse of what fully grown and seductive women talk about when no one is listening, no holds barred, this is your podcast. I'm talking unfiltered. I'm talking not safe for work. And by the way, not for Karens or prudes.
That's right. So check us out at yummyfearless.com.
Peace.
Well, he's also being called KKK Kanye.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He probably likes that, dumbass.
He probably does. He also, interestingly enough, is trying to start a rumor that he has a big dick.
He's trying to start the rumor.
He is trying to start the rumor. So
he has something. He has something. And let me just say, he has something in common with 45, because 45 used to try to start rumors when he was younger in the city.
True.
But anyways,
that is true.
You were saying.
Some women that actually saw 45's dick said that it is like almost deformed, like it looks like a turtle at the head.
Oh, what?
Like the head is like deformed. Like I don't know if she said it looked like either a turtle or like some really oddly shaped mushroom at the head.
Oh my gosh,
deformed.
I don't even want to imagine the nastiness.
Yeah,
that is 45's
child.
His Johnson.
So Kanye had nerve to say that he says that people really love him and he's hard to hate, and it's probably because he has a big cock. And he said cock. What black man says cock?
No black man ever.
Black men do not refer to their situation as a cock,
which lets you know it's small. If you got to say cock, you got a tiny one.
Ugh.
Little hands. I got little hands and little feet.
Yucky. Okay, so we have been watching something. This is the biggest example of self-sabotage that I've ever seen or heard of.
Say more.
Kanye, the headline today is he is no longer a billionaire. And so I feel that this is the first time that they're hurting him where it really matters.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of his major complaints has always been that they don't call him a billionaire. That he literally says, you don't call me a billionaire. They don't address him correctly. They don't give him the proper respect that he deserves. He's rich. He says things like, of my fellow billionaires. So he really stands on this billionaire thing. I'm the richest black man in America.
Let the record show that's also an indication of a small penis, but carry on.
Right. And Forbes has constantly said that he, even being however rich he really was, Forbes has constantly said that he was overestimating his wealth. Even being wealthy, he was still saying that, he was exaggerating it. Forbes has always said that, and they have come back today and said that he was always over exaggerating his wealth. So how do we get here? So first off, we have been sounding the alarm about Kanye for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Quite sometimes. And I think we maybe need to republish some of our old episodes.
But that's not the biggest headline today about him.
That's not the biggest one. So this has been brewing for a long time. So let's sort of like give
Okay. Our history with this.
history of this
We
of
called it.
but we called it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he has been on some bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
but to a great degree, it was acceptable to disrespect Black people. It was acceptable to disrespect Black women.
Mm-hmm.
That was fine.
He's done it for years now.
He's
He got some years under his belt with this type of shenanigans.
right to disrespect our history. Even when he went to his Paris fashion show and he wore the White Lives Matter shirt, he still was okay. Now there was uproar, but he still was okay. He was not losing it. But he started anti-Semitic remarks. And the first major organization to pull out was Balenciaga, which I know hurt his whole soul
Mm-hmm.
because he loved that French fashion house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, just days ago, he was wearing a mouthpiece that said Balenciaga.
How about that?
And he's had this long-standing relationship with them, along with his ex-wife. But they're the first major company that cut ties with him. They just were like, fuck that nigga.
Can you
So,
remind us of what he said that made everyone kind of take pause?
well, he tweeted, it's DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. And I don't even know how to summarize the other stuff that he was saying about Jewish people. Do you know?
No, but that was the main thing, I think. I think
Yeah,
that was the main thing. And I don't even understand what that means exactly. Do you know what that means?
I don't know what that means. I don't I don't know what that means. And so like honestly, like some of the, I guess, tropes about Jewish people, like I learned about through this. Like some of them I didn't even know. I didn't even know like about them controlling all of the wealth in the way that he was saying, and like manipulating the system, like the way he was going. I was like, damn,
Wow.
wow.
Why would you even, why is that on your mind? Why is that even on your little feeble little ass mind? Why is that the thing that you had to spew? I'll
Right.
tell you why. Because he's been spewing bullshit
Yeah.
about Black people self-hating shit. So
Right.
why is anybody else off limits?
And that's the thing. I think that because he got away with so much for so long, he just kept going. He just kept going, and he finally, went too far. So so Balenciaga dropped him after he made the controversial statements on the podcast Drink Champs last week, where he
Mm-hmm.
publicly claimed that George Floyd wasn't murdered but killed by fentanyl, and
I
where
hope they sue his ass.
yes, he made more anti-Semitic remarks. So that's when Balenciaga um dropped him, was from the Drink Champs episode that they have since taken down. But like, I don't know, the Drink Champs, I feel like they tried to come back after the fact and do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what the fuck they
They were
were
ready to
doing.
rock with them
They
still.
were ready to rock with him. I don't even know why they even bothered putting him on, because by the time he did that interview, you knew what he was on. He kept re-upping on this ignorant shit. And so Nori tweeted, we're gonna own the internet this weekend. Y'all can have it back when we're done. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing,
Mm.
but then he gets on there and then y'all, you want to pull out. So here's all the things he's lost. His music label, Good Music, is no longer a part of Def Jam.
Womp womp.
He's lost his lawyers.
Womp
He
womp.
now tried to hire Johnny Depp's lawyer. I think he's hired her.
Oh, please, I hope she doesn't represent his dumbass.
She's doing it.
Oh, no, I wanted to respect her. I like her.
I know she's doing it.
Don't do it.
I
Let's write her. She can't do this. I think after we talk to her, she'll change her mind.
She should. He's been dropped by his talent agency, CAA. His album sales are down by 25%. Gap ended his partnership with them in September.
Mm-hmm.
Vogue, after he wore the White Lives Matter shirt since I think that was in September too.
Yes.
They issued a statement basically like we're not fucking with him. And
Mm-hmm.
they issued a statement in support of the Black woman that he later verbally assaulted and
Yes.
rolled
Like the bitch that he is. But go ahead.
on social media. So they are not fucking with him. And those recent anti-Semitic tweets got him booted from both Twitter and Instagram. He has no social media access
Which is
whatsoever.
why he bought that other social media.
Why he bought Parler,
Mm-hmm.
because he said in a world where conservative opinions are considered to be controversial, we have to make sure we have the right to freely express ourselves, he said. So he bought Parler, but I don't know what the fuck that's about.
Which is a conservative outlet, so you know.
Yes. Yes. Then this is some shit I didn't even know was possible. He got unbanked. JP Morgan told him to take his money and shove it.
Now you know. To me, that right there lets you know the power of the dollar. I mean, to me, banks and entities can do whatever they want. If they can say no to a billionaire's money and like, you know what, your money's no good here. We don't want it.
Did you know unbanking was a verb? Like I
Didn't know that. Had no idea.
I didn't even know that was a thing because I've never heard of a bank saying we don't want your money.
I have never heard of that. I commend it. I didn't
Yeah.
even know that was possible or that they would have the balls to do that. I'm sure it's other people. I'm sure there are other entities who've said and done worse shit that they have not unbanked, but that's beside the point.
That nigga got unbanked. Then he also took White Lives Matter shirts down to Skid Row, the homeless camp in LA, and dumped them onto the homeless people.
Are you serious?
Yes.
He's despicable.
Yes.
He's despicable. He is.
And I will revisit that because the organizers down there just had a mouthful to say about that, you know. One being that most of the people down there, the whole Black Lives Matter issue affects them because it's a high minority
Yep.
population down there in that encampment, the homeless community. And for him, to do that, it's unspeakable.
That is below.
Yeah.
That's like that's below low to me.
It is like, not to mention, there was already some discussion from some time ago because he made this commitment to help them. So, like, he made this PR event to me where he was down there and it was like cameras and shit. And he had made this commitment to help them. But the leadership from down there was saying there was no follow up. He hadn't done anything, additional.
There's probably no cameras.
Exactly. It was so keep that in mind with him then coming back and dropping that shit off.
That's ridiculous.
He intended to sell. So he's also in legal trouble because George Floyd's daughter, people on her behalf, they filed a $250 million lawsuit against him.
I hope she gets it. I hope they get it.
I do too, for saying, questioning his cause of death, which has been determined.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to this, numerous celebrities at this point have spoken out about him, and saying that his actions are unforgivable, like Justin and Hailey Bieber, Gigi Hadid, Kendall Jenner, Jaden Smith, Howard Stern, David Schwimmer, Charlamagne the God, The Breakfast Club, Tremaine Emory, who's the creative director of Supreme, LeBron's The Shop. They did a show with him, but they wouldn't even show it because they said it was full of hate speech. And even the Kardashians have made a public statement against hate speech and supporting the Jewish community. And the pin on this is on Drink Champs. He said, I can say anti-Semitic comments and Adidas can't drop me.
Wow. And ladies
Well,
and gentlemen,
well, today Adidas dropped his ass. They
and
finally did it.
cancel, fucking cancel.
They finally did it. Now, to be fair to Adidas, even before the anti-Semitic comments and the White Lives Matter thing, Adidas had made a public statement that they were reviewing their relationship with him. They were reviewing it. And in a video that he put out, it showed how he was trying to intimidate the leadership of Adidas when he had a meeting with them by showing them porn.
What?
You know, yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Help
And
me understand.
he released this. It's like a 30-minute video he released when he first got put off of social media. And he had this meeting with, I think it was like 2 or 3 top Adidas execs. So he has his phone and he's like taking his phone and he's showing it to them. And they're like, is that porn? And one of them was pushing it away, like, get that out of here. And then he tries to make some analogy, like, this is like how you're trying to fuck me or something, like crazy. Like watching it is like makes your body tense. Like, I've never seen anything like that.
See, that to me is not, that's not crazy. That's somebody who ain't got their ass whooped yet. That's somebody whose shit has gone unchecked for too long.
Yeah.
If his mama had whipped his ass or some man had whipped his ass, like Pete Davidson offered to do, he is acting out because ain't nobody whipped his ass. He knows better than that.
And he had somebody with him, obviously that worked for him, that was like encouraging him. And that was like,
are you serious? Who is that? See? It's a stunt that
crazy. And you gotta see it.
That takes my blood pressure. That elevates my blood pressure.
You have to see it. You really have to see it. And keep in mind, he published this. Adidas didn't publish this. He published this. So imagine what it has been like to work with him. So Adidas finally did this at I think that just for this fourth quarter, by doing this, they are experiencing like a $250 million loss to do this. And this was a touchy situation because Adidas is a German company, and it was founded by a former Nazi.
Oh shit!
And during World War II, like most German companies, they supported Hitler,
right?
Nazis. So there was that history,
right?
There, so he really put them in a terrible predicament, and they finally, had to act. But again, in
the famous Yeezys, them aren't they the creators, the makers of the Yeezys, them ugly ass, bullshit ass plastic shoes?
Yes, but in their defense, to whatever degree, even prior to this, Adidas had announced that their partnership was under review.
So what did they say today?
Today they was like, we can't do it. We're done. So, all of that today. And
how about that?
It is really, really nuts. But
is that poetic justice for us yet? I don't think we've seen the full weight of the shit that he has put us through. I don't think we've seen, I think this is just the beginning. I hope that it is. I hope they hit him. I hope this is hitting him where it hurts, but he has the hubris of someone who's much more deserving of that type of hubris. And I just want to see I want to see the fall, because pride cometh before the fall.
Yeah, I do too. And even with Adidas, he had accused the company of ripping off his designs and selling non-partnered merchandise in markets like China. And in an attempt to free himself from the contract, he tried to intimidate executives by
Now you
showing,
free, boo.
right. Well, I'm like, well, be careful. Be careful what you ask for. And so this is where he's at. But all of this has culminated into this thing that he is no longer a member of the 10-digit club. He's lost his fortune, mainly as a result of Adidas pulling the plug, not to mention all the other partnerships that have dissolved. So Forbes made it official today, saying Ye has lost his billionaire status in the wake of Adidas ending their partnership with the guy. While Adidas on its own might not have technically torpedoed his billions, they say it's a combination of several deals, including Gap falling apart of late. Forbes does note it was a huge part of his wealth and the final nail in the coffin. Now, after all this fallout, Forbes claims Kanye West is worth somewhere in the ballpark of 400 million. This is a huge dip from where he was a couple years ago, when his net worth was valued at around 1.3 billion, with the majority of his public assets in consideration. The majority of Kanye's riches are now coming from a select few sources, Forbes says, including real estate, liquid cash, his music catalog, and a 5% stake in Kim Kardashian's Skims brand. Yeah. Unbelievable.
I don't know why that makes me feel, I don't like to celebrate people's downfall, but in this case, he has taunted us. Anytime you drop off White Lives Matter shirts on Skid Row, you're trying to be fucked up. You are fucked up. When you say that George Floyd did not, you are a fucked up person. Right. And you deserve all of the cancellation that I hope is still to come.
And that's the thing. It's like all self-sabotage. Like nobody did anything to him. He did all of this.
He took a page out of 45's book, and 45 whole thing. Hey, I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, and people will still love me or whatever. No, boo. No, he's exploiting you guys. And I hope that he learns a lesson, but he probably won't.
You know what? If there is any way or anything that will make him learn a lesson, it's that bank account. Because if he went from having $1.5 billion to 400 million, I don't care what he says. That's fucking with him. Because like they interviewed him outside of his daughter's game after Valencia dropped him. Then he trying to be all cavalier about it. Oh, it wasn't no money in it. Because he always talking about money. Even when PD was talking to him through text, he always talking about money. I'm gonna get my money. I'm selling these white lies. Money, money, money. Okay. So now we talking about money. Y'all don't call me a billionaire. Well, now don't nobody need to, because you are not a billionaire.
And I think, to put it in perspective, I mean, first of all, 400 million is nothing to sneeze at for most of us. But I mean, I suppose that the difference between 400 million and a billion is your grandchildren's children being good to go.
But also, though, which I had read reports of this, but the way that he spends money, if he only has 400 million, then it's kind of a problem. Because even if you look at the amount of money he spends on real estate, just look it up. And he typically guts it and puts all this money in there. of course, the people like us, 400 million, you're like, but for him and the way that he spends money, because there were reports saying, though, that even though he has a lot of money, Kanye spends a lot of money.
Mm.
And if he has 400 million, I know it sounds crazy, but he spends a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have, adjusted your behavior
Right. Based on how much on a billion
on
versus.
$1.5 billion versus 4, there is some adjustment. And especially in the circles that he is accustomed to and likes to, move in.
Right. Right.
Because there is a difference. Because he likes the Elon Musk it.
Right.
He likes to do that level.
Right. I want to go to the moon, man.
Right, exactly. So for somebody like him,
with no sense whatsoever of yeah, I just and to me I think he thinks that he's being a businessman when he does these ridiculous, what do you call it? Confederate flag. Remember back in the day he did a Confederate flag. He had a line of clothing where it was Confederate flags.
yeah.
And then so that was back in the day. So he started acting like an ass back then. I want to say that was like he had a few more hit albums after that. Because I forgave him. Because I was like, maybe it wasn't what I thought. No, it was what we thought. But I think he thinks he's being a good businessman. But if he spends the way you say he's spending, that's not business sense. That's not a good sense of business. And the shit that you're saying to where you have lost all these partnerships, that ain't good business. So you're not as smart as you think you are, sir.
You are toxic. People want nothing to do with you.
Isn't that ironic too?
Even to their own personal detriment. They're
Yep.
like, fuck it.
Yep. I'll take the loss. I'll take the hit. If I can be rid of you, I will take the hit. That's a lesson, sir. I hope you're getting the message. It's not cute.
Oh, it's like you. So here's what the guy in Skid Row said about him making these homeless people political props with his shirt.
What do you say?
He said Kanye came to the most economically deprived and abandoned corner of LA to dump his trash and tell a community of unhoused and marginally housed, as well as heavily policed Black people, that white lives matter. Yeah.
To what? I just I don't understand unless he is not well. And if he's not well, then somebody get his sick ass in the hospital because right now it feels really egregious. All his moves feel egregious and hateful, and I don't feel sorry for what's coming. I don't.
I don't either. And then I saw reports of other bipolar people saying that they are really tired of people saying that it's his mental health condition
How about that? Seriously.
calling these. And
wow.
Because to me, this is not mental health. You know what I'm saying? That's like Rosie O'Donnell. Remember Rosie O'Donnell had her show and then she like tweeted out about Valerie
Bertinelli?
No, the Valerie, she was a consultant for Barack Obama. And she tweeted out that she looked like a monkey or something.
Oh my goodness.
And then she tried to blame it on Ambien. Then it was like, I'm depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And even like Ambien came back and said,
nah, boo.
Ambien doesn't cause racism. And, it's like being bipolar doesn't cause anti-Semitism. It doesn't cause racism. It doesn't cause you to hate the Black community. It doesn't, none of that. It doesn't result in you making homeless people political props. None of that does. I'm sorry.
Like who hurt you? What made you? I just don't understand why He is that way. And I don't want to understand. Truthfully, I don't want to understand. I don't even care. I just want him to go away. I just want him to go away and don't give him a microphone, a platform, just like 45. Send him and 45 somewhere that we don't have to see their country asses anymore. I don't want to see them.
I don't know. I mean, like, he created all of this.
Pretty much, yeah. 100%.
He doubled down over
Double down.
over. Like, for the anti-Semitic stuff, people kept waiting for him to apologize, or no, he kept digging in deeper. He kept insisting.
He had a chance too. He could have dialed it back.
He could have dialed it back. And so the concern, and that's the problem, is that there are these little outliers that, like you say, dog whistles that gets them going. So even in LA on the 305, people have put banners out saying Kanye is right, the Jews, whatever and whatever.
Are you shitting me?
Yes. No, that's the thing. So it's not a game. And that's the whole thing with like the risk, why he's sitting up there saying George Floyd died from fentanyl, not the knee. There are real life consequences.
Hell yeah.
When he's saying slavery is a choice, there are real live
absolutely
consequences to what he's saying. So even this most recent thing, they are saying, they are giving statistics, even in LA, of the uptick of hate towards Jewish people.
Yeah.
So this shit it's not a joke.
It's not a game.
Not funny. It's not business.
And words matter. Words matter, especially when you have influence and money and power. Your words matter.
Yes.
Say something that's going to be helpful.
It's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
And I don't care. That's what my point has always been with him. It's not a fucking joke. I don't care about his comfortable shoes. It's not okay. It's dangerous.
It is very, yep.
It's been dangerous.
Yep.
I just wish I belonged to a group that could inspire this type of change.
Right.
No, I do.
I mean, yeah, because heaven, what could happen? What kind of power could we wield, or what kind of safety could we have? How about that? What kind of safety could we find ourselves in if our group or the group that we belong to had that type of power?
Exactly. Because you can like say anything you want about Black people as long as you put it to a good beat. You know what I'm saying? Like long as
clearly.
Even if you don't, you can come back and because like the shit he has said about us, it's fucked up too. But that's part of my thing. Like, it's someone else's responsibility to value us. We have to value ourselves. But there's a good lesson here. There's a good demonstration here.
Sure, absolutely, yes.
So I'm not mad at other people for not valuing us, because we need to value us.
A la NFL.
Exactly.
NFL. Don't get me started on that, man. When you got 70% of the league who is affected by police brutality, who are potentially affected by police brutality, and you can't have a man kneel. Y'all not allowed to kneel. And right. 70, and if there weren't us, there would be no football league. Right. And y'all gonna tell us we can't kneel just to bring awareness to what's happening in our lives and the lives of the people that we know and love? Tell me about some power, wishing we can wield some power. What could we do if we actually realize it and realize how much power we have? Because I submit to you that we do have that type of power. We just don't exercise it.
You don't use that. So, yeah. And to my point, for a discussion we had the other day, and I'm going to stick by that, you don't negotiate with when it's okay to let a motherfucker disrespect you.
Hey,
Period. Period.
you said it 100%.
And I feel
100%.
like that's what we do as a community. You know what I'm saying? Like
Compromise. Hey, well,
we negotiate with it. You know, be like, well, come on. Nah, nah. But he did his big one. He was getting this shit off. And the monster kept growing.
Yep. Oh, yes. Talk about it.
Kept growing. He
I
got
mean,
more confident.
he came out with the Sunday services. And what did Black people do?
Grab the tambourine.
Pretty much. And this was after the whole all that bullshit he said. This was after the Black people, slavery was a choice.
Mm-hmm. But when he did the TMZ interview, when he was talking about slavery was a choice, Van Lathan says though that during that event there, he was idealizing Hitler, and they edited it out.
Damn, are you serious?
And they edited it out. TMZ took that shit out.
That is sick.
So him on this bullshit, it ain't new either.
That is sick. Him and Clarence Thomas. I don't understand. For the life of me, I don't understand the likes of Kanye and Coon Thomas. Don't understand it.
But like, do you know how fucking ignorant you gotta be, like in like 2020, to idealize Hitler
as a Black man?
As anybody, but especially as a Black. Who do you know how crazy your ass gotta be?
That's not free. That's not free thinking. That is not free thinker right there.
And Harvey, the leader of TMZ,
isn't he Jewish?
Yes. So like, I don't even understand how the fuck he edited that out and kept it moving.
Right.
It was more beneficial to him to keep that other stuff there, and take that out.
And then Van Lathan didn't Van get terminated after that, or he parted ways? I know after that incident in particular.
But Kanye's so stupid. Like, so even like recently, because he's not on social media and stuff. So the paparazzi be talking to him. He's so fucking dumb. They'll be like gassing him. Like it's clear they're gassing him because they want him to say
some bullshit.
He's saying the dumbest. He doesn't even seem to realize. I'm like, are you that fucking dumb? They're like, exactly, Kanye. Yeah, Kanye, tell us, Kanye, and he just talking, and I'm like, this motherfucker is gone. He been gone though. He been gone.
Yeah, he might have outfoxed himself this time though.
Well, yeah.
You outfoxed yourself, and I hope that it is the. I don't. You ever broke up with somebody and you're like, even if they come back, you're like, nah, I've been there, done that. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything. Kanye is that for me. Like I used to love you. And to the point where I was willing to overlook a lot of shit for you. But I just want you to go away. If I never see you again, it'll be too soon for me.
Right. He's dangerous, and we said this a long time ago.
Yes. Before it was common to say, okay.
He reminds me of, like, how they say, weed is a gateway drug.
Yes.
But it's the same with like serial killers. They start out with like a little assault.
Yeah, on a little animal or something.
Because like Jeffrey Dahmer did that.
Yeah.
Escalate. Next thing you know, he eat motherfuckers' hearts. Kanye was kind of like that. He just was tasting blood.
Yeah.
But the monster in him just grew.
Yes.
He grew. He got more money. He just, who the fuck he was inside him, because they say with fame and money, whoever the fuck you are just becomes bigger.
It makes you more of who you are. You know, we knew he was fucked up when he went on the stage with Taylor Swift. Talking about, I'm gonna let you finish. It's like, who the fuck? Well, we let him off the hook. We let his dumb ass off the hook when he said that shit about George Bush, who right now seems like fucking saint next to 45, but we let his ass off the hook and we thought that was funny. Like, oh,
when in all truth, nobody even had given that man a chance to do any motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, in truth, nothing had even, he hadn't even had the chance to do nothing before
now
he was being, classified as being like a fucking racist.
But now we know, now, at least from my perspective, what we know about the man whose name I don't even want to say, is that he has always been for himself. And anything that he could say, one thing is for sure, he is all about saying the thing that's going to get him attention.
Yes.
So if it means I'm going to go on the stage, or doing the thing that's going to get him attention, if that means I have to go on the stage during a live Grammy presentation of an award being accepted and interrupt, then I will do that.
Yeah.
If it means that on a live broadcast for Hurricane Katrina that, we're trying to be helpful and bring the country together, I'm going to say some outrageous shit that I know people are going to talk about it. People are going to talk about that. Yeah. So one thing that we can agree on is that no matter how you feel about that person, he lives for the attention. And I think the best thing we can do for ourselves, and the thing that will get him the most, because I want him to, it's almost like I want him to feel it. I want him to feel some pain because he's causing pain. I think the way to cause him pain is to ignore his ass. Don't give him a microphone. Don't give him attention. Don't give him a platform. So thank you, Twitter. Thank you. Who else did he get? Who else banned him? Instagram. Thank you, Instagram. Thank you, Adidas. Thank you, Balenciaga. Finally, that's what we need. We need to be rid of him. We need to be. He is a cancer. Yeah. He's a cancer, and it hurts. It's hurting people, and that's that on that. That's my take.
Yeah. So
and by it.
It's what it is, but we all saw this train coming down the track like this, so it is what it is. So I don't know, but
hit us up in the comments if you want to hear something. Go listen to our episode on Kanye. Kanye is Ganye.
Yeah, we might even just republish this shit. Like, check this shit out. We your psychic friend. Shit. We knew this, which it may have sounded harsh at the time, but it's like, that ain't shit. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, review, subscribe, and share. It helps other listeners find us. And don't forget to follow us at Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and even Pinterest, where you'll find additional content from today's show and also our highly curated He Can Get It list. As always, you can listen to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the Side Chicks on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. And if no one else has told you today, we love you and thank you so much for listening. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First off, it's free. And there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Then Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. Then you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's Anchor, ANCHOR.FM, and get started making your own podcast.
You've been listening to a podcast of the Podfix Network. Discover more audible gems like this at podfixnetwork.com. Make sure to catch up-to-the-minute network shenanigans by following @Podfix on Twitter, official_Podfix on Instagram, @Podfix Network on Facebook. And make sure to subscribe to Podfix Presents wherever you choose to find podcasts. The Podfix Network, artist owned and loved.